Hello, I'm Erica McElroy. Welcome to our podcast, Original Bliss. We are so excited today because we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Shelby Lew. Shelby Lew, I first got to know her at Green Heiress at our book club, and we just connected and hit it off. And I said, does anybody here know of any yoga teachers? Because I would really like to restart our yoga program. Back about almost 8 years ago, when I started Green Heiress, we primarily had a beautiful yoga program. We had many yoga instructors here, and we had classes almost every single day. It was a thriving practice, and we were known in the community for great yoga. Well, what happened was during the pandemic, people stopped coming to yoga classes, and we stopped having yoga in-house in Green Heiress. We have since tried to rebuild many of the programs that were discontinued during the pandemic, and this is one of the programs that was close to my heart to bring back was yoga. So I was so excited to share with the book club that we wanted to bring back yoga to Green Heiress, and asking who here knows somebody who would like to do that. And Shelby Lew, our wonderful guest today, said, I teach yoga. I'm interested. And that's kind of the way things work around here. Everything is somewhat organic. So we meet people through our communities, our experiences together, and people come here first maybe to find some kind of experience like a book club and end up teaching yoga. So that's why we're here today, because we have just launched a second series of a yoga program. And Shelby is one of our new yoga instructors. And I'm here to tell you that we're going to do a little interview about what she is doing here at Green Heiress and how she came across yoga as being a big part of her life, and what she can share with you all to see if something in yoga is something that you might be interested in pursuing, and maybe even come to Green Heiress to do it. So that's what we're here today to discuss. Part of our podcast, Original Bliss, that we have just created is about finding your bliss, and how you, as a person from early on in your childhood, thought things were joyous or happy, or activities you loved. How do we get back to that original state of bliss? What makes you an original person, a unique person that makes you want to do things that bring you peace, that bring you love, that bring you joy, that bring you bliss? So welcome to Original Bliss, and welcome Shelby Lew.
Thank you very much.
So let's start a little bit by asking you some questions, if that's okay, Shelby.
Sure.
Okay, Shelby, when you came here for book club that day, what were you hoping to find when you walked into Green Heiress?
Like-minded community. When you're in this field, it's important to find other people that are on the same page, so we can build ourselves up and learn from each other tools to help other people become more mindful and come on in. So I found out about book club through Wyatt, who does all the beautiful sound offerings here. I'm also a sound practitioner, and he just said, hey, come to book club. And I was excited because I just don't connect with a lot of the book clubs out there that's like, romance, mystery. I'm really hungry for more knowledge in this field. And that was what the book club offered, was that we could go through meditation books and self-help books and spiritual growth. And I really enjoyed that. And then once I got here, just a lot of wonderful people. And it was the community that brought me in. I'm very busy teaching yoga, so I wasn't looking for more opportunities, but I really connected with the community here and wanted to become a part of what's happening.
That is so wonderful to hear, because book club is one of the programs we have at Green Heiress that really does strive to bring community here. And we have lunch together and we talk, and it's just really fun. So I'm glad that you found it and that you came. And the other thing that you said was Wyatt, the sound healer here, told you about it. So that's another thing that happens often here at Green Heiress is one practitioner will refer another, and it really does have that sense of community. So I'm really glad that you found it here, and now you're creating your own little community here.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you have experienced so far at the start of this new yoga program that you're helping to launch?
Yeah, the people coming in have just all been lovely, and still, it's part of the community that's been drawing them in. And the people I've gotten to meet so far, they said every single time is lovely. Spending that hour together, coming in, and maybe the dust hasn't settled from the morning, and then after that hour happens, just them and myself feel a change getting up. And that's one of the great things about yoga. If you don't have time, there's always that 1 hour retreat that you can find in your day.
And what brought you to the practice of yoga initially?
I was younger and in a different place in my life, and honestly, I always thought just yoga were for rich people or something like that. So somebody pointed me to a direction. Well, why don't you just try that? And I fell in love instantly. And I have an anxiety disorder and also chronic pain in my neck and back. And by going through yoga, I was actually canceling out co-pays and doctor visits, mentally and physically. So it more than paid for itself, that practice. And obviously I would, it just lit a fire in my heart, and I wanted to also begin sharing it myself instantly.
That's incredible that you found such healing in yoga practice, because I people sometimes think of yoga as an exercise that they do at the gym, which it is. Or they might associate yoga with something, very foreign because it originated in India and not here in the United States, although it's taken off here in incredible ways. But I find it so fascinating when you say that yoga actually helped to heal you, because I'm not sure that many people know the healing benefits that yoga has done for you and for many, many people. So I would like to, if you don't mind, focus on that for a few minutes. And can you tell me a little bit more about how yoga has healed you as a person and how you as a teacher maybe have helped other people to heal?
Yeah, well, definitely we'll start with the mental side and anxiety. Your brain will run away with its thoughts, and you don't even notice it's carrying you this way or that way. And in yoga, the mindfulness is first noticing I'm ruminating on the past, noticing I'm fretting about the future. And we just start with those little glimpses and sparks in yoga class. And then sometimes the busyness of it doesn't allow your brain to run around during that hour. So it's practicing calming it. And I say all the time, this practice we cultivate in here becomes a habit. And then that habit we carry out into the world as a new, stronger, more grounded person. And then on the physical side, I have people coming in all the time saying that the doctor sent them in for chronic pain and also for stress and anxiety as well. So they come in and say, I'm here to fix my back. And we, help with that. And they start to feel more open. And all of a sudden, this doesn't hurt. And then they get hooked from the mindfulness and the meditation and the stress reliefs, because I rarely meet anybody who doesn't need that. So yeah, it's just a full body tune up.
That's
in and out.
incredible. Can you also tell me a little bit how you incorporate the breath work of yoga in your healing? Because I know that the breath is a very big part of a yoga practice.
Sure. The breath work in yoga is thousands of years old. The asana, the physical practice, is what we usually think about when we think of yoga, is only a few hundred years old. Now that's very old, but the breath was what began it all, the mindfulness. I'm also a meditation instructor, and the breath is a tool that we always have with us. It's also our link to life. So it's something we can always come back to. And in yoga, in the beginning, I like to do a lot of breath work to help us get settled. And we do that again at the end. In between, I do personally link every single one of our movements to breath. So there's the inhale when we're elongating the body, the exhale when we're, compressing, And so that keeps this an hour of meditative movement. The breath is guiding that. So the entire hour you're with me, I'm telling you when to breathe, when to not. Everything's an offering. So if it doesn't work, you can always do your own thing. And that also helps people keep their mind from running away, is
Mm.
keeping them focused on the breath and me leading it in a slow, purposeful way, and different than the breathing we might do as we dart about through our day.
That is so fascinating. It sounds like you're really passionate about what you do as a
Very much.
healer and a
Yes.
yoga teacher. Do you can you give me an example without mentioning any names of somebody that you've worked with who's had a really transformational experience with the practice of yoga with you?
Yes, definitely. I've seen people come in and they are scared. They come up to the desk to sign in and they're terrified and they're very defensive against me. I think just because I'm the one, what you gonna do to me over this next hour? Or at least I'm not sure why, but I feel a clenched up person. So this might be a person individually, but quite honestly, this happens a lot.
Wow.
It's usually people maybe in their 50s and above. I haven't done this in a long while, or I'm not flexible enough for this or that. And then you take them through that meditative hour and they just come out a whole new person. There's guard is set down.
Mm.
And I just in that transformation really fills my heart.
Wow, that's really incredible that you can give that gift and you can help be uh, aid other people to find that gift within themselves. Can you explain how the practice of yoga, even for an hour a day or a few times a week, how that translates into helping somebody then move in through the world with that transformation? How do you go from being on the mat, doing those exercises that you're talking about, the asanas and the breath work, and feeling that peace at the end of class, and then going out into the world and having that be part of their life then? And what is that connection? How does that happen?
It's interesting the way you worded that because it's almost verbatim of what I say at the end of class.
Wow.
Um, So I'm constantly reminding people to notice if your brow is crunched up, if you're
Mm,
clenching your jaw,
mm,
hands fist up. Even there's a energy the toes hold on to, like we're
mhm.
curling the toes. Certainly shoulders up by the ears, relax and back. And I say it over and over and over again. And that builds us that practice that becomes habit so that when they're outside and I say, you're stressed and you notice you've been holding your breath,
Mhm.
you notice you're clenching the steering wheel or your shoulders are sneaking up toward the ears, or you're thinking about something mean your aunt said to you 30 years ago. If you don't notice that, you don't have really much of a chance to creating that change. So we have, create that habit over and over, noticing I'm clenching my jaw, relax your hands. I say it throughout my classes constantly every time. And then when we get up, I say, notice any peace or calmness that you've cultivated for yourself. And we visualize sealing that in with us and carrying it out into the world. And then it's not just our day, week, month that we feel a little better, but that rubs off to other people as well.
Mm.
Why did this just happen and I'm reacting that way? And it doesn't even seem like your heart rate's gone up.
Wow.
Yeah, personally, couple weeks ago, I got pulled over on the way home from yoga. I had a headlight out. And it's just even when you're not doing anything wrong, it's a jarring experience. And he
Mhm.
had me sitting there for a while. And I noticed as an anxious person, my breathing didn't change, my heart rate didn't change. And I just sat there very calmly.
Wow.
And that's just different than maybe 10 years ago how I would have felt. So that's the way personally I notice. And then that's also how I direct my students. Just keep noticing
Mm.
until you're very aware of it. And that's mindfulness.
That is incredible. What a great sort of demonstration on how you used your yoga in the real world in a stressful situation. That's a great example, and I appreciate that. And it's also really interesting how I think we create benchmarks for ourselves. Like, oh, a year ago, this would have made me so anxious or nervous, but look at me now. I'm sitting here, and there's a police officer here, and it's stressful, but look at me. I'm doing just fine. those are the benchmarks in our
Mm.
life that we can really say, hey, you know what, I think I'm on the right path here, and I'm doing okay. And that's really beautiful. Have you found a connection here at Green Heiress? I know it's been a new part of your life with other yoga teachers. Has there been any kind of community formed around, or should I say other practitioners in the building, not just other yoga teachers? Are you finding that community here that you came to look for originally?
Sure. I mean, like it has all been organic. What drew me here was the sound healing. I'm also a sound healing practitioner. I do sound baths and sound massage. And Wyatt is such an amazing source of education and help for this very new but booming modality is the sound. And then by coming to his different trainings, I've met so many other different practitioners. Some of the people that I went through some of the different modalities are also now working here in the building, and it's cool to see them and give them a wave. And yeah, I'm just excited to see how that keeps happening with just meeting new people. And sometimes just somebody that works here will bop into the building when I'm here teaching, and we just bump into each other, get to talking, and we all just have different things to bring, and it's been lovely.
I love to hear that. It makes my heart happy. I'm glad you're happy here.
Yeah, you created a very lovely space, and I'm
Oh,
excited to help grow this community, especially yoga.
thank you, Shelby. So, do you incorporate your sound healing into your yoga classes?
I do. Um, I teach on Mondays and Fridays, far away from here. I teach a yin and restorative class, and whenever everybody's still, then I have my instruments that I bring out. I bring them around the room and over
Okay.
everybody, and it's they love it. They
Oh.
yeah, and it used to just be a yin and restorative class, and we were having a great time and had a great
Mhm.
group. And when I started adding the sound, the class is selling out. There's 30 people in the room. We had to get more
Wow.
blocks and bolsters. The sound really is a wonderful addition.
Well, maybe that's something that you can incorporate in the yoga classes here as well.
100%, yeah.
That would be fabulous. We'd love that, I think. So that's the other thing. Part of being a practitioner at Green Heiress, I really want to encourage people to be creative and come up with their own curriculum, because everybody here is their own boss. Everybody here is their own practitioner, and that's the way our model is. So, do you feel here that you're able to creatively express yourself through your practice and basically create your own curriculum and your own way of doing things and teaching?
Yeah, absolutely. And when I first started out, I had definitely been places where it was very rigid. Even the poses you were doing at the end of class, the last 15 minutes wasn't yours. The just you couldn't show your creativity. And for some of us yoga teachers, that's a very big part of it. To be able, yeah, to design the program yourself and see the people that come in the room, what do they need, and then tailoring that to them is very important. Yeah. So as a creative, I very much appreciate being able to spread my wings versus having them clipped.
That's so beautiful how you put that. And I'm sure you also kind of have to feel who your students are each time and kind of work with them instead of having a more formulaic practice. Do you take that into consideration when someone comes in to see you?
Yes, absolutely. In a busy class, what I offer is a buffet, I say, and you take what you want, you take what you need. All poses can be modified. So when we say yoga is for everybody, I can't I can't express that enough. Any pose can have all these different levels where it's gentle or it gets more intense just depending on how you're feeling that day, how one side of the body is versus another side of the body. So in a large group class, then there's lots of option given and everybody, takes what they want from the buffet. When it's a smaller class, then I can really even chat with the people before class. What are
Oh,
you looking for today? And then really make that what their heart's asking for.
that's really important that people feel that their individual needs are being met in a class. And that kind of goes with the concept of original bliss, that we're all original people. There isn't one size fits all in a class. And to have an instructor who's intuitive, who's a healer, and who cares about each individual coming in and trying to help them to heal and to learn these ancient practices in a way that's healthy and safe for them. It sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yes, I try.
Well, I appreciate you being here and for taking on the role of starting another program, because it's not easy to start another program. And I appreciate you being here doing that and having faith in us and collaborating with us on your beautiful work.
Oh, thank you.
And I would love to see you bring some of your sound healing into your yoga if you'd like to, because I think that would be really special too.
That's a very big passion of mine. Yes, I would love to do that as well.
Wonderful. So, what do you see happening here, Shelby, in the next over the summer? What do you see you doing at Green Heiress? Do you think you might do any workshops or anything in particular that might be something different that you would like to offer here, based on what you've already experienced?
Yeah, I think workshops is probably going to be the next thing. The yoga program is very new. So we haven't, quite gotten that done yet, but workshops in the evening. I like to specialize in de-stressing in the yin, and that's where the sound could come in as well. And just some different community offerings, maybe adding meditation into the yoga. And certainly summer comes along with a lovely solstice celebration. So that would be exciting to do something like that too.
That sounds beautiful. Very beautiful. So, Shelby, is there any other types of training that you hope to? Because you're doing sound healing, you're doing yoga, you're doing yin yoga. Are there any other types of certifications or practices that you might be interested in the future in pursuing?
Yeah, right now I'm in the middle of a 100-hour mindfulness meditation instructor program, which complements yoga and really everything else I do so wonderfully. And I took my time and just really found the right place. So I'm excited just to keep going on that, and really into the sound healing. So I will be learning a lot more and getting a certificate in gongs here in May. And then we're all the next levels of sound massage training is in May. So I'll be doing that here as well. And just following all of Wyatt's offerings going forward with all the different sound school things is what I'm into right now. And then next year we'll see. I get very excited about trainings, and I'm just packing them all in back to back right now. So find me next year and there'll probably be a bunch more to add.
That is so exciting, because we're always growing, we're always learning and educating. And that's really what we like to foster here as well at Green Heiress. So, like, if there's something somebody wants to learn or do, we have a suggestion box. Put it in here. What do you want to learn? This is a space, a creative space to help people. It's a blank canvas, really, to help people decide what their bliss is, their original bliss is, and how they would like to use Green Heiress to make that happen. So we're starting a new studio downstairs. You were one of the first practitioners in the new studio, because now we have 2 studios, and we're going to be expanding that and making it even bigger.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I didn't even know if you knew that.
Not yet. I'm very curious about all the happenings. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our goal over the next, I believe it's going to start in May, a new construction project to expand, to make the studio pretty big, and we can have more people come and do more great things. And I look at it, like I said before, as the open canvas. I'm hoping that the studio will bring in artists and more yoga teachers, more sound healers, maybe a meditation class, anything. We can have art, we can have dance. I'm really excited about what the new studio can bring to Green Heiress and for our practitioners. So let me ask you something, Shelby. When you think of the term original bliss, what do you think of for yourself?
Feeling love in your heart. I think that's what everything boils down to. We are all beings of love. that gets kind of trampled on or maybe put to the side by our minds or by society. But when you feel love in your heart towards other people, towards yourself, towards life, towards nature, that's the original bliss. That's what we are at our very core when we strip it all away, is love.
It's beautiful. I love the way you describe that, and you just seem to so emulate your practice, and not you're not just teaching just to teach yoga. You're living yoga in the world and in your life, and as a teacher. How would you describe that? How would you describe somebody who lives out their practice, lives out their yoga in the way that I see you?
Well, I really am into the whole Ram Dass group.
Okay.
That just is my satsang. I go away with him every year, and that's his words to start with. Is just the essence of where I'm, living my life from at this point. It wasn't always that way. And I remember a nervous person, an angry person, and a judgmental person.
Wow.
And I see us all as, beings of love, and we're all one, is how what I believe. And we have to strip away these earthly things to get back to that. I don't know if this is a little bit of a different quote for a podcast, but he says, I see everybody as God in drag. Every single being, and every journey is different. Everybody's in a different place. So you might see an angry, uptight, judgmental person, and they're on their path, and that's okay. We plant the seeds, they scatter where they may. We might not even see them growing. We're supposed to have non-attachment to the outcome, yet we ease suffering when we see it, or at least we try to.
That's very beautiful. I'm glad. I was going to ask you if you know of any of his quotes, and you did, and that was really impressive.
I could quote him all day. I'm a little bit obsessed, maybe, but it's just what resonates with me and is what taking me in this direction. And then I get, kind of have my cup refilled every year when I go away with them.
And where do you go on these retreats?
The Art of Living Retreat Center in Boone, North Carolina, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yes, I'm very familiar with that area.
Yeah, that place is beautiful, amazing. All the buildings are in sacred geometry. And there's a lovely woman who cooks 3 meals a day, and you have to hold back so you can try everything. You're so full and you just have to keep trying the next thing. It's all vegetarian, and yeah, anybody's interested in that, come on down with me. But yeah, that's really where I get my cup refilled every year.
And when do you do that?
That's in August.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fabulous. And that's something that you could tell people at Green Heiress about if you are interested in having a group or something like that. And then you can continue that here as a group. I find it interesting about yoga and community and I love that you're saying that you found a community in yoga, because sometimes people think you just sign up for a class, you bring your mat and your water, you walk in, you do the exercises, then you leave. I think that yoga can be so much more than that. And you talked today about so many ways it is for you as a healing practice, as a lifestyle, as a transformational experience of your health and your overall well-being, which is all amazing and beautiful. But then finally, I just want to sort of wrap up this podcast by asking you again, if you can tell me how we could here at Green Heiress create more of a community around yoga, because that's what it sounds like you're yearning for it. But I feel like that's what in general, what people are yearning for right now is community. So how do you see yoga being a central force here at Green Heiress in sort of fostering a community here?
Well, it's the intention that the practitioners have in their heart, the space that they begin from, and then it's a word of mouth thing more than anything. So when people start coming in and you make that connection, and then you see a face week after week, and it becomes a familiar face, and you chat a little bit, and you really get to know each other. And I have a lot of yoga students that are like family now, and family to each other.
Wow.
it just starts with that little bit of making a connection and then bringing in a loved one or just somebody at work that you think might benefit from it, and they show up, and a little bit of a time becomes a trickle, and before you know it, and when it catches on, and it becomes a flood of, goodness.
Beautiful. I would really be open with our new studio to maybe seeing some events or workshops around yoga, because I think that's really popular right now and people really enjoy an alternative, say Friday night, where, instead of going, to a bar or something like that, maybe why don't you come over here and do some yoga and maybe have some smoothies or some a potluck together or some kind of exchange after the yoga class together to like have a more like a meet and greet type thing around yoga. Do you see something like that?
Yes, actually, I've taken a qigong class. At the end of our sessions, everybody would make food and we would come together, and that was a wonderful community creating practice. Breaking bread is old as time. And you don't have as much time to chat. People are darting here or there after yoga. You get the connection you can, but it's nice when we come together, maybe sit down and talk, break bread. Just like the book club.
Yes.
Food at the book club is delicious. So if it's anything like that, I think people will be on board.
Okay.
And then also there's fun stuff. We have a lot of different colored lights here, and maybe you get a little more Friday night, music with a beat or something, and make it fun. Or also always make it a nice, relaxing, using the sound and stuff like that. So it's more of like a spa night too.
Well, I love your ideas and I love your energy and everything about what you're doing. So I would love to collaborate with you on some of those fun ideas and make them happen here.
Yeah, we'll do.
And I look forward to a wonderful summer here with you. And I actually look forward to taking your class.
I'm excited for that too. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shelby, for joining us today. And where can we find out about your schedule and your classes here? When do you teach?
Here on Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings. Right now, as we're incubating the studio, we have these tiny classes. As I said, I'm going to tailor it to who comes in the door. And then once classes become a little more busy, the earlier morning class is usually for that moving, energetic flow. And then the second class is unwinding, stretching, and also incorporating and learning more about meditation.
And what is the time frame? So you're here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And what is your class schedule? What is your time frame?
My first class is from 9:15 to 10:15. Okay. And a little 15 minutes in between. And then second class is from 10:30 to 11:30. And all my offerings are listed on entailnow.com. Okay. So you can find that, and links will, there. And
what is the website?
Entail Now. ENTAIL Now.
And that is your personal website.
Yeah. Okay, so everything's there.
Okay. And you can also find it on Green Heiress Retreats as well.
Absolutely.
So we hope that people will come and join Shelby for yoga and look to see what kind of workshops we're going to be hosting this summer and bring in community and have fun. And we hope you have enjoyed this time with Shelby Lew as much as I have. And I look forward to having all of you come here and help find your original bliss. Thank you so much for joining us.